Hello and welcome to That Nerd Thing, where we uncover the magical impact that fandoms have on our lives. My name is Morgan, and I am so excited to introduce today's guest. I'm a major fangirl, and I apologize throughout this episode if I'm fangirling a little bit too much. I'm sure there's many people that could relate, but I am introducing the host of MuggleCast, the host of Millennial, two podcasts that I've been listening to for years and probably were the reason I was so picky when it came to planning out this podcast. But I would love to welcome Andrew Sims. So thank you so much, Andrew, for being here.
Hi, Morgan. Thanks for having me. And thank you for the kind words. And I'm so glad that MuggleCast and Millennial have been a part of your life for so long.
I definitely grew up with the show, and I was so disappointed. So I'm a Patreon for both of them, but a few years ago for Millennial, you all wrote handwritten letters, and I had one from you, and I can't find it anywhere. But I was like,
no.
I want to bring it to the show today. But
well, you brought other things. You brought the beanie, the
Yes.
water bottle, the wand, the adulting planner. So
yes,
don't
I
lose
have it
those
all.
Things.
So as you all can see, I'm a major fan. But okay, so Andrew, I like to start off the show with getting an introduction into who you are and your nerdy identity. So I have a few rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready?
Okay, yes.
Perfect. What is the first nerdy thing that you got into?
Probably something I'm going to be addressing a lot today, which is Harry Potter. My fourth grade teacher introduced Harry Potter to my class. She read the first book to us, and I was hooked ever since. But if I'm not talking about Harry Potter, then even going further back, probably like Thomas the Tank Engine.
That's really funny. Yeah, I used to think Harry Potter was my first fandom, but then I realized it was actually the Goosebumps series. I loved those books when I was younger.
Yeah, it's interesting thinking back on this question because in terms of like modern fandom, I would consider Harry Potter my first fandom. But what was like the first thing I was passionate about? Probably Thomas the Tank Engine or Barney the Dinosaur or maybe Goosebumps. I was into Goosebumps too, and the Boxcar Children. But I didn't like celebrate and live them every day like I did Harry Potter. So
or Thomas the Tank.
Right. Yeah, I was Thomas the Tank Engine himself for Halloween one year. So maybe
really?
Maybe that should count as my first nerdy thing.
What about your favorite nerdy thing?
So this is going to be off the wall, but you might know. It won't come as a surprise to you. I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. Also got into Bruce Springsteen at a young age, back in like 2002, 2003, when my parents wanted me to record a live concert he was doing on television for them because they were going to be at work. So I decided to watch it while recording it on a VHS. I was like, this is pretty good. So I just became addicted from there. And I've been to many Bruce Springsteen concerts at this point. And that's my true passion fandom, because while I love Harry Potter to death, it's also work for me because of MuggleCast. Whereas Bruce is nothing but fun. No work.
Yeah. That's a really good point. But you took something that you really loved and you made it your job.
Yeah, and I'm grateful and all that. But it's like when you hear people, you know, they love Disney, they love Disneyland, and then they start working at Disneyland, and it's just not the same.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to show up at a certain time.
For sure.
Every day.
In that letter you wrote me, one thing I remember is you said you knew the city where I was living in Florida because you said you went to a concert there to see.
Oh, so what
or
was
he
that?
was there.
Was that Tampa?
No, it was Sunrise. Sunrise, Florida.
Sunrise. Oh, okay. I hadn't gone to that one, but he had performed there. I can't believe I wrote that in a letter.
I know. I was like, I want to read this to him. But yeah, you wrote that. And that's what I remember in my mind. But you made it very personal. And I think that's what also has made me such a fangirl of you, is that you're very personable.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when we were like writing those letters, I was also trying to like think of something where I could connect with each person who I was writing a letter to. So that was my one connection to Sunrise, Florida. I knew the town because of that reason. So that's why I chose to address that.
Yeah. So what is the thing that you're currently nerdy about?
So this also ties into your other recent guest, Fourth Wing. I've been into Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because, well, sometimes you see something receive so much attention that you feel like you can't resist trying it any longer, whether it's a book, a television show, everybody's raving about a movie. For me, I hit that threshold with Fourth Wing where I saw so many people talking about it. And I was like, oh, cool. There's dragons and magic. And I'm always looking out for the quote unquote next Harry Potter, even though there might never be a true next Harry Potter, or something that gets as close to Harry Potter level fandom craziness as possible. And it sounded like Fourth Wing was heading that way, so I decided to try it, and it's great. I've been enjoying it a lot. Is it the best book ever? No, but it's really good. And I'm currently halfway through Iron Flame. I'm not reading it as fast as I would prefer just because of the holidays and stuff, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Are you into it? I think you are.
Oh, I am. I feel like it brought me back into reading because for a while I kind of took a break, and it's been so much fun. Maybe it's not the next Harry Potter, but it feels like the next fandom where there's a community of people coming together again, having the midnight release parties, having theories and discussions. And I think that's the piece that for me is the most enjoyable.
Definitely. And I think actually because Nicole was on MuggleCast and Nicole and Lexi were talking about it potentially being the next Harry Potter. They brought up the point that it's like another Twilight or Hunger Games. And I think that's exactly right. Is it going to be the next Harry Potter? That's going to be really hard to replicate. But Twilight and Hunger Games, yeah, I think it'll hit that level, especially because this was my feeling when I was talking with Nicole and Lexi. There's still 3 more books to go and maybe other spin-offs and whatnot. So there's still a long runway for this to really grow even further. So that's why I'm very optimistic about it. And again, it's a fun read.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
It's nice to be part of a fandom again, and
yes.
like a new fandom again.
Yes, and to have theories, I think that's my favorite part too. What is the most underrated nerdy thing either about you or just in your opinion, something that's underrated and nerdy?
Oh, about me. Okay, I was thinking of this as like, what's your favorite underrated nerdy thing?
It could be that too. Either one.
Okay, well, so I'm a huge fan of Breaking Bad, the television show. Like, yeah, that's my favorite television show ever. But what I think, yes, it is. It really is. I find it so rewatchable. I drove through Albuquerque recently where Breaking Bad is set, and I've gone through Albuquerque many times, and whenever I do, I have to stop at either a Breaking Bad filming location or this unofficial Breaking Bad store in downtown Albuquerque, and it's an amazing store. It's also like a museum. They've collected so many props and signatures from the cast over the years. But so I think the most underrated nerdy thing in my world is Better Call Saul, which is the Breaking Bad spinoff. Breaking Bad was so big and so good. There was a spinoff, but it doesn't get as much love as Breaking Bad, and I really think it should. I recently rewatched Better Call Saul. I think it's just as good as Breaking Bad. So I would highly recommend it if you liked Breaking Bad. But yeah, so that's like the most underrated nerdy thing in my world.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. I did watch the first season, and then I just stopped. And I'm wondering if it's because I binged Breaking Bad. So maybe I'll go back and binge Better Call Saul.
Yeah, you should. And when I was rewatching it recently, I had forgotten actually how good, in my opinion, the early seasons are. I didn't remember them being as good. Maybe because now I've seen the whole series, so I know where it's going. But I was like, oh, this is better than I remember. So it's aging well, too, I think.
Another thing to add to my list. I already have a pile of like 30 books.
When people recommend things to me, I'm just like, thanks, but I've got enough in my queue.
I know. What is the most random nerdy thing about you or in general?
Okay, so I think the holiday rom-com The Holiday is the best Christmas movie ever, and in my opinion, one of the best movies ever.
The Holiday? I don't think I've seen it.
Really? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up then.
Yes.
because it's also been a bit of a running joke on MuggleCast too. I don't even know how it came to be, but it is. It's just like a feel-good, warm, cozy holiday movie. And when people ask me like, what's my favorite movie? I really don't have an answer because I'm just like, I don't know. I like movies, but I don't really obsess over them. The Holiday, on the other hand, that's like a movie I will go back to multiple times. And I really can't say that about other movies. So yeah. I find that pretty random about me.
Yeah, I will add that to my list. My favorite movie is Back to the Future. Have you seen it?
Oh, you know what? Probably a really long time ago. I feel like I must have. It's like a must-watch movie. I know my brother's obsessed with it. He has a Back to the Future poster. So yeah, I probably saw it at one point.
So let's talk about our journeys into the Harry Potter fandom specifically. And I know you have a lot of other fandoms you've been involved in as well, but I mean, you are most known for MuggleCast and your role in the Harry Potter world. What has that been like for you? Like, where did your journey start?
So the journey started when, like I mentioned with first nerdy thing, with my fourth grade teacher reading the book to our class. And from what I remember, right after she finished reading the book to our class, I went to a Borders bookstore at the time, or a Barnes & Noble, and I remember still walking into the store and seeing the second book sitting at the front. I think it had just been released. And so I picked it up because I really enjoyed when my teacher, Mrs. Wilson, read the book to us, the first book to us. And I just fell in love from there. And at the same time, I was also turning into a computer nerd. This is back in the days of dial-up modems. You know, the internet was very ugly and slow compared to how it is today. But I was very passionate about computers and the internet, and I wanted to merge my passions of Harry Potter and computers into one. So I thought, let me create a Harry Potter fan site. And I wasn't the first person to do this, but I wanted to express my love for Harry Potter online. And so I made this website called harrypottershouse.com.
Yes, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, I used Microsoft Publisher to create some header art, and then I used Microsoft Front Page to create the website, to design it. And I put it online, and I just had so much fun creating new pages on the website. And I created an SPEW sign-up form where you could join SPEW.
Oh my God, I love that.
At Hogwarts, yeah, on like Team Hermione. It was just so much fun for me. I just sat in my childhood basement working on this all the time. And then I had that site for a couple of years. At one point, I forgot to renew the domain name, meaning the .com address. And Warner Brothers snapped it up, and then I had to change the name of the site to the potterprofile.com. So in a way, I had like two Harry Potter fan sites. Then I got involved with, of course, all this time, I'm discovering other Harry Potter fan sites online, seeing what the competition is doing as a little kid. And then I find out about MuggleNet, and this was, at the time, the biggest Harry Potter fan site online. If you were a Harry Potter fan back in the early 2000s, you knew about MuggleNet. Period. I still ask people today when I find out they're a Harry Potter fan, did you know MuggleNet? And of course, everybody says, yes, I definitely visited that. I knew somebody who was volunteering on the site, and I really wanted to work for MuggleNet because they were the biggest. So I kind of worked my way in that way. I was like, hey, I just applied for a job, and, you know, this was free labor. We weren't getting paid at the time. And it was just a matter of getting my foot in the door there. And I did. They let me in. The first section I worked on was the jkrowling.com. Well, actually, I created this myself. It was the jkrowling.com guide on MuggleNet.com.
Oh, yeah.
And it showed people how to unlock the Easter eggs and stuff like that. And that was like my little corner of MuggleNet. I loved putting that whole thing together and writing guides for people. Then like a year or two after I got involved with MuggleNet, I got the idea to do MuggleCast, the Harry Potter podcast that we've been referencing. So that's like the short timeline of how I got deeply involved. And of course, during MuggleNet and MuggleCast, I got really involved with the fandom and running MuggleNet, and we took MuggleCast on at least one tour across America. We did live events for book releases. We did so much between 2005 and 2007 in particular when the final book came out. But then even after that, we were doing events tied to the movie releases because those were coming out till 2011. So that's the short version of my time in Harry Potter.
Yeah. I'm just, as you're talking about all that, I'm reflecting and remembering listening to the episodes. I think I have the shirt still for Pickle Pack.
Excellent.
And I think I saw MuggleCast on tour in Orlando. I think it was
awesome.
Infinitus? I don't remember. But
yeah, I was going to say, we did a couple of Harry Potter conferences in Orlando, and Infinitus was 2010, I want to say, maybe?
Yes. And I remember the imprint tour for your Twilight podcast. That was super fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great time. So what has it been like for you to take something that you love and now it is your job?
Well, first of all, I would say, and this goes back to the Harry Potter fan site I made, harrypottershouse.com. It's always been creatively fulfilling for me. That's been the main reason. Even today, I'm still passionate about podcasting and podcasts. Like, my main bread and butter right now, in addition to MuggleCast and Millennial, I also edit podcasts for other people. And I've always been so passionate, and still am today, about editing podcasts. For me, like, everyone is just a puzzle for me to put together, and I find it very satisfying for my brain. With MuggleNet, I started getting paid, not a lot, like a couple $100 a month, but as I worked my way up, slowly it was a little more and more. For a teenager, it was great money. In the mid 2000s, like 2000, I don't know, 2005 or 6. It was great money. I've always been I get very passionate about something, and I just get really driven to try and make it successful, or try to make it my job at any given time. Even after MuggleNet, which I left in 2011, around that time I launched a broader entertainment site called Hypable. And again, just very passionate about bringing the same passion forward that we had on MuggleNet. The fact that people depended on MuggleNet, MuggleCast, and then Imprint, and the Twilight fan site, Twilight Source, and Hypable for their news meant everything to me. Like, I do not want to let these people down. They're trusting us with our news coverage, our analysis, entertaining them through the podcasts and videos and whatever else. It's just always been such an amazing privilege to be able to serve a fandom, and to also get paid for that has also just been mind-blowing as well. And I consider myself very lucky, because it's also gotten harder as time has gone on. Launching a fan site today would be like impossible in terms of making money from it, because the online media world is very difficult to turn a profit in right now. It was a different time, but it's also been great kind of turning one thing into another. One thing has always led to another in some form or another.
Well, I will definitely be a lifelong fan. And I truly think that no matter what you do, I mean, I know I haven't really known you outside of this world or outside of listening to you, but I feel like listening to somebody for this many years, I have a general idea of who you are and what you're like. And you're just the fangirl's coming out. You seem like a very amazing person who people really like.
Thank you.
And I think it comes out in that.
That's very nice of you to say. I think I'm generally a pretty down-to-earth person. What you see is what you get, you know, whether it's online or offline. It's also interesting, like, talking about, and we might get into this a little more in a bit, but the power of fandom and podcasting. When I was growing up as a kid, I was way more introverted. I didn't have any friends. But then MuggleNet, MuggleCast was always I mentioned earlier, like, this being creatively fulfilling. It was also socially fulfilling, I guess you could say. I was able to come out of my shell thanks to the podcast, the website, meeting friends online who then turned into real life friends. It's like these fandoms have taught me who I am, I guess I could say.
Yes, I love that. And that's what I love about all these fandoms. They're not just an escape for entertainment, but they really are a place for us to be ourselves and to learn who we are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I remember growing up, I would have been more excited to meet you and all of the MuggleCast hosts than J.K. Rowling. Like, that was not my priority. I know it probably also feels so, like, weird for you on the other end hearing that, but it's true.
Well, when I think about our relationship with listeners, I always think about my relationship with podcasters I really love. So I totally get what you're saying. Like, if I were to meet a podcaster I've been listening to for 10 or 15 years, I'm going to be fangirling. The reason we started MuggleCast was because I was listening to a tech podcast called This Week in Tech with Leo Laporte, who I used to watch on television on a channel called Tech TV. He launched a podcast. I've met him a couple times, and I fangirl when I'm around him. I mean, I try to, like, conceal it, but, you know, I'm very excited to be meeting him, and it's, like, mind-blowing to be talking to him. So kind of to your point, I'd probably be more excited to meet Leo than, like, a Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. I'm continuing with the tech analogy. And I think part of the reason, in your example, part of the reason why you feel that way is probably because you have been listening to us weekly, so you feel this closer relationship with us, whereas an author like J.K. Rowling is keeping her distance.
Yeah. I mean, there's also other reasons now where I wouldn't necessarily want to meet her, but
Right.
I have been told from a few people I know that I should start a podcast for like over a year. And I was like, I can't do it. I have too high standards. I can't do one because your not just your passion for the fandom, but you wanting to put out something that's of high quality. So it's definitely amazing.
Thank you. That's something I've been very adamant about as well, just giving people a really good experience. It was not that way at the beginning. It probably wasn't that way for 5 to 10 years, like listening to even episodes from like 2010. Like, it was great for the time, but like with anything in life, the more you practice, the more you study it, the more you work in it, the better you get. So now we're in a really good place that I'm very proud of. And it's always been important to me to give people a great listening experience, in part because there's a lot of podcasts out there for them to listen to, and you want to get a leg up in however way you can. I listened to some podcasts today that just don't sound good. And it's like, hire some help. Hire me.
Yes, hire Andrew, everybody. Go check. What's your website?
So it's impact.hypable.com.
Okay.
Hypable Impact. It's not the easiest domain to remember because it was spun off of my entertainment site, Hypable. And that's where I offer consulting on podcasting and Patreon. But I also seek out work through Upwork and other places. I also have been shooting my shot. I just reach out to shows that I hear about don't have good audio quality. Like, hey, you want help? You're a pretty big podcast. You could do better than this. I say it nicer than that, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so for those who don't know, I'm also a therapist, and there's a lot of therapists starting therapy podcasts these days, and they're always asking for people. And I'm always just like, you need to reach out to Andrew. I've been listening to him for years. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
So what would you say the Harry Potter fandom itself is like?
Oh, man.
I know, a broad question.
Yeah, it's almost like you could take it from the 2007, let's say, era or present day. I think in both cases, though, the Harry Potter fandom is one of a kind.
Yeah.
It's very passionate. It's very accepting of everybody, which is more important than ever these days. Being a gay person myself, I don't know when I would have come out if it weren't for the Harry Potter fandom, because I came out to my Harry Potter friends online first before I came out to anybody in my own real life. And one reason I did that is because how open and accepting and diverse the Harry Potter fandom is. So I would say diverse, fun, passionate, dedicated for life. There were a lot of questions when Harry Potter started winding down, so to speak. I'm doing air quotes a lot today. When it was winding down in 2011 with the last movie coming out, people wondered if that was truly the end. And I think most people expected it to be the end. But as time has gone on, we've realized that Harry Potter has staying power, and I call it another Star Wars in that it's not going to go away. It's so deeply ingrained in pop culture. People make references to it all the time. There's always new merchandise coming out. People are still buying a lot of Harry Potter stuff. They're introducing Harry Potter to their kids and so on. New people are discovering Harry Potter, even if you're an adult. And even though there hasn't been a lot of great new content in time, hopefully there will be. There is that J.K. Rowling angle that you alluded to, so that's going to be an ongoing issue. But I'm convinced at this point that Harry Potter is going to be around for the rest of our lifetimes, and I mean pretty prominent for the rest of our lifetimes. I see Warner Brothers trying to open it up further. So to answer your question about what is this fandom like, I'd say it's deeply ingrained, here to stay, and the fans, setting aside the J.K. Rowling angle, are dedicated. They're not letting go of this fandom for a while. Whereas you see with Twilight or Hunger Games, like Twilight had a renaissance, Hunger Games just had a pretty good spin-off book and movie. It just doesn't have, the fandom doesn't feel as like alive over the long term as the Harry Potter one has.
For sure. I remember in middle school, I was known as like the weird Harry Potter girl. And I still was a very proud Harry Potter fan, probably in part because of MuggleCast and knowing that there were other people like me. And I remember in high school, they were saying like, oh, Harry Potter's over. It's not going to last much longer after the last book. And then they announced the theme park. And I was like, I was right. I told you so. It's here forever.
Yeah. And I think, by the way, you mentioned we were kind of your Harry Potter friends. I think that's something I'm most proud of when it comes to the podcast, that we have been an outlet for people. And I think that's one reason why MuggleCast took off, because I was in this situation too. In high school, when I launched MuggleCast, I didn't know anybody else who was truly passionate about Harry Potter. Like, yeah, I'm sure some people had read the books, but nobody's going out around the halls of school and being like, hey, you read Harry Potter? Oh my God, that's so cool. It was just seen as nerdy and lame at the time. I was afraid to come out as a Harry Potter podcaster in high school just because that's like one of the nerdiest things you could do. But now being nerdy is cool.
Exactly.
Like leaning into a passion is cool, whether it's Harry Potter, Fourth Wing, or whatever else.
Yep, I totally agree. You know what I wish would come back, even though I know it's probably not financially feasible? I really miss the Harry Potter conventions.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is LeakyCon still, but it doesn't. Yes, I agree with that. I guess it's just hard to kind of replicate that magic of like, I'm thinking back to Prophecy 2007, which was right after the last book came out. So many people were attending, so much theorizing going on. There was going to be an official Harry Potter event that happened earlier this year, but then it got canceled for whatever reason. But yeah, that would be nice.
I have a really embarrassing story from the convention that I've debated telling you. And I was talking to my nieces. They're like, are you really going to share that with him? And I was like, you know what? Why not? So I was about 18. It was Infinitus in 2010 in Orlando, right? And I remember, I think MuggleCast had like a Q&A session in the conference hall. And I would never do this today. I don't even remember what my question was, but I remember telling you that I used to have a crush on you for so many years, and I don't even remember how you reacted. That's my only memory, and I cannot believe I did that. But
oh, well, thank you for bringing it up today. I think that's great. Yeah. And I'm sorry I turned out gay.
Yeah, I don't think you were out then. I probably would not have said, or maybe you were, and that's why I said that.
This?
It was 2010. Yeah.
I probably was, well, at least to friends. Maybe not publicly though. Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah. I also miss the midnight release parties.
Yeah. And I think that's why Twilight kind of took off. I've always felt that Twilight, it blew up in part because people who missed the boat on Harry Potter wanted to grab onto some fandom and get a similar experience. And I think Twilight was their answer. Fourth Wing, I don't think that's the same. This is all like book talk, but that's one reason I'm so into Fourth Wing too. It's like there have been midnight releases. Or when I picked up my copy of Iron Flame from a local bookstore, I didn't do a midnight release, but I went there right when the bookstore opened and you could pre-order your book so you can just pick it up in store. I saw at least a dozen other Iron Flames sitting there ready to be picked up on release day. And I was like, you know what? This is bringing me back to the Harry Potter days of people being so excited that they got to have the book on release day.
Yeah, I didn't go to a midnight release either because I haven't read it at that point and I didn't want to get spoiled. And I regret that. I was like, I want to go to all the midnight release parties now.
Are you talking about Fourth Wing or Harry
Fourth
Potter?
Wing. Oh, no, I went to the Harry Potter midnight release parties. Those were amazing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, 3 more books to go. So you'll have an opportunity if you can stay up till midnight. I'm not sure I can do that.
I know that was actually part of the reason too. I was like, I haven't read it yet. I don't know if I want to be up that late. But
Yeah.
How has the fandom changed your life, both positively and negatively?
Honestly, I don't think negatively, unless in some alternative timeline, Harry Potter never came into my life. And I became like some insanely successful person another way. I'm not sure that, and that is not to say I'm insanely successful. I'm just saying that if there was a different path where I became like a millionaire or something, that could have been nice. But I don't know if it's impacted me negatively in any way. It's really been all positive. Coming out, making friends, my career. Those are all the positives. That's how it's changed my life. I don't know what I would be doing career-wise if it weren't for getting involved with MuggleNet and then MuggleCast. I was into radio, TV, film. I was studying that in college, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And now, looking back, thank goodness I did pursue podcasting instead of traditional radio, TV, or film because those industries are seemingly dying. My world would have been very different, and that's why I don't think I could say anything negative. But yeah, in terms of the positives, friends, career, also where I've lived over the years, I went out to California in 2008, and that was largely because I had a very good friend living in Southern California who talked me into it, who I met through MuggleCast. again, if there was some alternative timeline where a career would have brought me out there, I don't see myself having moved out to California where I was for 9 years and I fell in love with the state. I live in Vegas now, but I still love the West to death and I love California to death. LA, not so much. It's kind of a hellhole. But I just love the West and I love California broadly. So yeah, I think those three things: friends, career, and where I've lived over the years, and all the travel I've done too. I mean, that's been a big positive as well. I went to England. I've probably been to England a dozen times now. Nowhere else internationally, setting aside Canada. But I had a lot of reasons to go over to London specifically for MuggleNet and MuggleCast, be it movie premieres. I went to the sets a couple of times. We did live podcasts over there. I wouldn't have done that if it weren't for Harry Potter. So it's just given me so much.
Yeah, your life would have been very different without it.
Yeah. Part of the reason why is because I started so young. Like I said, fourth grade teacher read the first book to us. I made my Harry Potter fan site in 2001. I was a teen. I was 13 or 14 years old at that time. So actually 12 years old when I first made my fan sites. It was the trajectory for me. My path was chosen when I started that first Harry Potter fan site in a way.
Wow, that's so amazing. I feel like we're so lucky to have grown up with it.
Yeah, we really are. We really are. And that's why I want to see another Harry Potter fandom, Harry Potter level fandom, just because it's made a huge impact on me, but on tens of thousands, millions of other people on different levels too. I would love to see something come along that has a similar impact like Prime Harry Potter did.
What sort of person do you think would fit best in the Harry Potter fandom?
Somebody who is inquisitive, who shows empathy or needs to be taught empathy. I think one of the great things about Harry Potter is it has such a universal message and universally intriguing story that it can really fit all types of people. But I guess we've been doing MuggleCast it'll be 19 years this August. It's for people who just want to really immerse themselves in a story. Like I said, I love Fourth Wing, but it's not as colorful and detailed as Harry Potter is. Same thing with Twilight and the Hunger Games. Great stories, but it's just not the same. Harry Potter, you can obsess over every little thing in every little page, but you also don't have to. So it's a story that I think can be easily consumed by anybody, but also if you want to go that deep, if you want a podcast for 19 years about it, you can. But I guess my gut answer here is just for somebody who is curious and wants to just immerse themselves and lose themselves in a story, maybe as a distraction from their everyday lives, and learn some lessons along the way. Harry Potter is for you.
I love that. I'm hosting an in-person book club starting this month where we reread the Harry Potter series, but we're kind of acting like we are reading it for the first time because there are a few people that will be there who haven't read it before, surprisingly.
Oh, wow. So when you say acting like, you won't be talking about future plot developments?
Right.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because we want to give the other people the opportunity to experience that for the first time. We'll see. I mean, I'm hoping people respect that. But
yeah, you just got to keep it in mind. You need some signage up around the room, I guess, like no spoilers about who kills who. I'm afraid to say it now. The big one from A Half-Blood Prince.
Spoilers. That was a very stressful time trying to avoid spoilers when the books came out.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, I said blank kills blank in Harry Potter in Half-Blood Prince. I still remember this video of somebody doing like a drive-by spoiler, so to speak. It came out in advance of the book that so-and-so kills so-and-so. And this jerk drives by a midnight release. Everybody's lined up, excited to get the book, and they just yell, blank kills blank. And you just hear cries of agony from people.
Oh my gosh. I know.
It's
terrible.
Funny, but also really sad. Yeah.
Yes. So, Andrew, what does being a nerd mean to you?
To me, it's being able to celebrate and study something you're passionate about with like-minded individuals and going through the highs and lows together. You get excited about developments in the fandom or whatever you're being a nerd about. You get disappointed when there's bad news. You use it really as an escape from your everyday life. That's what it comes down to for me, especially as we've all gotten older. Harry Potter, for example, it was amazing. It was an escape, but it wasn't as much of an escape as it is today. Doing MuggleCast today, all four of us really look forward to doing it because it is creatively fulfilling. It's a fun subject to talk about. We have a great rapport together. Again, getting back to studying and celebrating something you're passionate about. If I could sum it up in just one word, it's escape.
Yes. But it seems like it's escape with a connection. Like you could connect with others. It seems like that's the biggest theme for you.
I think so, because it can be validating and refreshing and fulfilling to connect with other people who are passionate. Not feeling alone is always a great feeling. And this kind of gets back to what we were talking about with MuggleCast. The show took off because we were an escape and a resource for people to nerd out.
Mm-hmm.
When
you
it
were,
came to
for
Harry
sure.
Potter.
Definitely. Yeah. All of your shows are amazing. And it's
thanks.
part of why I also wanted to do this, because I wanted to foster some sort of nerdy community as well.
Yeah, and I think maybe you're already feeling this with the episodes that you've recorded, including this one, but we always get out of a podcast recording feeling just refreshed. I'm somebody who's always worked from home, so that's something. That's an element that's been helpful with the podcast, like connecting with people, actually getting to speak to people instead of sitting here by myself. It's been great for my social life as well.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah, as a therapist, I can't really fangirl out. Like maybe sometimes if a client brings up something, I could be like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. But I'm so excited to have a place now where I could just fangirl out and like geek out with people who I love.
Yeah, and you do what you want to do. It's like creatively fulfilling. You designed the show yourself. You came up with the structure of the show. It's very rewarding and fulfilling to see it come together and just do it how you want to do it. It's your baby.
So I have to ask you, what is it like for you to have fans?
I've gotten used to it over the years, I would say, in that, like I was saying earlier, when I think about what you were saying about your relationship with me, I think about my relationship with podcasters that I've listened to. So I understand where you and others are coming from. What's it like? Again, I'll use the word privilege. It's just incredible that we got to start this podcast in our respective parents' homes, and it turned into something where people depend on us. They love the show. They love us. It's rewarding. And I think that's one of the biggest factors, one of the biggest reasons why we still do the podcast after 19 years, knowing that people depend on the show and love the show despite the issues that exist in the Harry Potter fandom. People still turn to us and we still give them something that deeply impacts their lives. Like, that's so rewarding. It's an incredible experience having listeners. I hate to say fans, listeners. I know you're fans, but...
Me telling you I had a crush on you, was that a cringy memory that you had, or was it just anxiety in my head?
No, that's anxiety in your head. I mean, we all look back at our different years and like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I signed a chest one time.
Oh, yeah?
A woman's chest sometime. One time, that was my Beatles moment. My Elvis moment.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
But yeah, no, I think Harry Potter is such a unique fandom. I mean, we saw... Imprint, the Twilight podcast that I did, it wasn't as big as MuggleCast, but we saw some crazy stuff happening in the Twilight fandom too when it came to like how fans felt about Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. So I don't know. I've just been in it for so long that nothing phases me at this point.
Yeah, I totally get that. So now we're going to talk about our geeky recommendations to help you embrace your nerdiness. For today's recommendation, I would like to recommend not only listening to MuggleCast and Millennial, but going and signing up for their Patreon. There are so many fun and interesting behind-the-scenes clips on the Patreon for both MuggleCast and Millennial. And what's really neat is you get to learn a lot about Andrew and the other hosts of the show. Andrew, what is your recommendation?
So my recommendation is the new Percy Jackson TV show on Disney+. I've actually never read Percy Jackson before. I did see the movies that Rick Riordan, the author, absolutely despised, and I liked them, but I know Percy Jackson remains very popular, so I wanted to check out the TV show because I know the author, again, Rick, is very involved with this adaptation, which could not be said for the movies.
And I'm really liking it so far. I think the thing that surprises me most about it is that the special effects are very good. The acting is very good. The sets, the world building is very good. I'm very impressed because fantasy adaptations run the risk of just looking and feeling bad, but they really seem to nail it with this one. And for some reason, that really surprises me that Disney actually cared to pull this off the right way. So I'm very pleasantly surprised by it. And it's my rec because if you've heard of Percy Jackson, but maybe you haven't explored it too much, this seems like a really good way to start, especially since, again, the author, Rick Riordan, is deeply involved. Maybe you don't want to read it, you just want to consume it faster. Here's a great TV adaptation. And it seems like the real, quote unquote, fans of Percy Jackson, those being readers of the series, are really into it too. So yeah, check it out. And well done, Disney.
Well, Andrew, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. You're
so welcome.
You are literally like my dream guest. It's almost like, okay, that's a wrap. I don't need to do any more episodes. I'm kidding, but thank you.
You are so welcome. And I appreciate you inviting me to talk on the podcast today. And congrats on the launch of the show.
Thank you.
And I'm very excited for you.
Thank you. Where can people find you?
So you can go to MuggleCast.com. You can go to MillennialShow.com. That's the Millennial podcast. You mentioned earlier my consulting site, Hypable Impact, which is impact.hypable.com, or just search Hypable Impact, or just search Andrew Sims podcast, and you'll find it that way.
Thank you. So everybody who's listening, it would mean so much to me if you are able to rate and review That Nerd Thing on whatever podcast platform you're listening to the show on. Ratings and reviews apparently mean so much, so I will say it every episode, but thank you in advance if you're able to do that. And if you have any questions or thoughts about the show, you can email me at thatnerdthingpod@gmail.com. And I am so excited because as a therapist, I can't really be my full true self on social media. But with this podcast, I definitely can. And I am having so much fun on TikTok trying to figure it all out. So please go follow That Nerd Thing Pod, both on TikTok and Instagram. And again, thank you, Andrew. I think I'm going to be thinking about this show forever. This is like a core memory in my life. So thank you.
You're welcome. And congrats again. And thank you for your longtime listenership and support over the years. I really appreciate it. 19 years, like, to have people stick around for so long, it just means everything to me.
And it's totally worth it. Everybody go check out everything that Andrew puts out. See you next time.
Bye.